I'm sure most of us enjoy a visit to the local, to meet up with friends, have a drink or possibly a meal. However, we're in danger of losing many of our favourite pubs. Across the country, 30 pubs are closed down each week. Over the last 5 years, Redhill alone has lost around 7 or 8 pubs. This is the story of 2 pubs that in 2017 were threatened with closure. The Limes in Merstham and the Garibaldi in Redhill.
My name is Chris Lowe. I'm chairman of the Limes Action Group. Owned by Enterprise Inns, we found out that they wanted to get rid of the pub. The land apparently is worth a great deal of money in the area, of course. Development was, I think it was 8 flats and 4 houses all crammed in onto half an acre, and not in keeping with the street scene at all, which is mainly Victorian housing in South Merstham, and totally out of character.
My name's Chris Nolte and I'm Vice Chairman of the Friends of the Garibaldi.
So like the Limes pub in Merstham, the Garibaldi in Redhill, that pub is also under threat.
We found out at the beginning of December that a planning application had been put into Reigate and Banstead Council to demolish the building and turn it into 4 townhouses. The reasons given for this were that the business was no longer viable.
In April 2017, the Garibaldi pub closed and was boarded up. However, the Friends of the Garibaldi successfully negotiated a lease with the owner, and the pub reopened in August of that year as a community pub. I caught up with Anna Mumford and Chris Nolte from the Friends of the Garibaldi after it reopened.
It went really well, past our expectations. The pub was full, the outside was full and the garden was full, and we couldn't serve customers quick enough, really.
You've been closed for a little while. You opened on Thursday, but how does it feel for the Friends of the Garibaldi? How did it feel for you guys to finally reopen?
It's been absolutely amazing because it's been a really, really long time coming, and there's so much hard work, not just by the group, but by local businesses, tradesmen. So many people have helped us out. It's been a very long time coming, and we're bound to have some glitches along the way. But to finally open the doors and get people in was absolutely amazing. It makes it all seem worthwhile.
I understand the pub owner wanted to sell the site for redevelopment. Has he been supportive in your project at all?
Yeah, he has. He's actually been incredibly supportive. I think he'd been sort of quite unlucky with the pub over the last few years. It's obviously much more difficult keeping a pub going in this sort of day and age, and a lot of pubs are struggling. But actually, he's been incredibly supportive of the idea of the community pub, which he has confidence with us that we can make it work by doing things for the local community. And so we've worked with him to be able to get the pub back up and running, and he's been very supportive of what we're doing.
Like the Friends of the Garibaldi, the Limes Action Group took over the lease, but the owners, Enterprise Inns, were still intent on closing and demolishing the pub.
Hi, my name's Claire and I am one of the directors running the Limes currently. We took over in February this year. We were very lucky that a lot of locals put in some money as a loan to get us back up and running, buy the stock, give the place a really good clean, etc. So we started off quite well, and unfortunately today is our last day.
So the Limes closed on Saturday the 20th of October. But what about the future? Maybe a replacement pub?
Well, we've got the planning permission now for the pub. They're willing to sell us part of the land. So hopefully, yes, all being well, we should be able to go ahead and build a new pub.
I'm Michel Becker. I'm a local councillor. I'm a chartered structural engineer and have my own consulting structural and civil engineering business in Reigate.
Under the guidance of Michel Becker, a business plan and prospectus was produced with the aim of raising the funds to build and run a new pub on part of the site of the Limes.
The figures are quite daunting, and I'm just trying to tell people you cannot be frightened by the figures. It's a case of many hands make light work. I am targeting opening in June. It's quite a tight schedule, but with the developer himself actually carrying out the building work, and he's promised to do that at cost, I anticipate that because of the way the site's orientated, he will actually start putting the foundations in the pub first and work his way out. So that's why I need to show him that we're interested, so that it's actually worth being able to move in that direction.
Alas, the Limes Action Group couldn't raise the money required, and thoughts of the locals in Merstham owning and running their own community pub are now just a dream. The Garibaldi, however, is going from strength to strength.